Hi everybody, my name's Brent, and for the past 20 years I've been producing, composing, editing music for the dance world. And after 20 years, from Costa Rica to Croatia, I've decided to sell my house, go on the road, build a recording studio, and try and seek out more music, more musicians for the dance world. And today we're in Arizona, and we're going to start with flamenco. Flamenco Unfolded, welcome, here we go.
Real flamenco is not one person, it's several people working together, and some of them may just be appreciating. Flamenco is not that old. The gypsies sang and danced Spanish songs for many years and were professional musicians. And as they do everywhere, gypsies really add their own feelings to everything. My name is Richard Pretty. I call myself Ricardo de Cristobal after my teacher, Cristobal dos Santos. I live in Arizona. I'm 73 years old. I've been playing guitar for 60 years. I've been playing flamenco for 50 years or a little more. And I got into the history of flamenco right away. It's fascinating to me. Flamenco is a fusion that started between Southern Spanish culture and Gypsy culture. Flamenco did not happen without the Gypsies, but it also did not happen without the Spaniards. The Gypsies were a very dispossessed people and all over Europe, in Spain as well as everywhere else. They have received some sort of accommodation over the centuries in Spain. More so than many other places. They're very marginalized in France and Germany as well. The Gypsies' ancestors came from India, starting about 1,000 years ago. They arrived in Spain. First recorded entrance is about 1425. There's several ways to divide flamenco, one of which is Gypsy and Andalus, or Gypsy and Spaniard. The Spaniards in Andalusia call themselves Andalus. The crazy party stuff is Gypsy, and the tragic stuff is Gypsy, but the romantic songs in the middle are mostly Spanish. And it takes both sides to make it really work. The singing was so heavy, it is so deep, and especially if we're talking about 1840, 1850, there was a lot of tragic songs that they brought in dancing girls to lighten things up. Some of them were Gypsy girls, some of them were Andalusian girls. And you got to keep in mind that there's been dancing all along. There's been dancing for thousands of years everywhere. But what we're going to call flamenco dancing, this particular dance, I think developed in the cafés cantantes.
In the article, there was a picture of a beautiful flamenco dancer wearing a beautiful costume, and I said, I want to wear that costume. So the first thing I did was call up the instructor, make arrangements to go to class, got my shoes, my skirt, and I started in what was to be my flamenco career. I'm Linda Machado. I was born in New York in 1951. And I found my way to Arizona in 1979, and I've been in Arizona ever since. I am married to Ricardo de Cristobal, and he is a professional flamenco guitarist. He's my flamenco guitarist.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Like most people starting flamenco, I started with theatrical flamenco and more Spanish dance, but I really didn't know the difference until Ricardo.
Okay, Footwork time.
I have students of every walk of life. My youngest student was 2 years old. My oldest student was well over 70. My students are professional women, they're homemakers, you name it, I have them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was 6. I heard that. I can hear that.
When I hear the music, immediately, I'm there, or see music, I'm there, moving to the beat. Just moving to the beat. I can't stand to sit still. My name is Edna Fastnacht, and I'm originally from Cananea, Sonora, Mexico. And recently I got involved in singing some of the hondo, canto hondo, which is gypsy. I like Verde que te quiero verde. And
How does that sound? How about I give us a sound?
Verde que te quiero verde, la ra 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 di da da, la ra 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 di da da da, verde que te quiero verde.
Okay. Tientos, 4 count, like a tango, very slow. In. Away.
I have more women than men. It seems that in dance, women embrace it more than men. And it's a shame because flamenco is such a powerful dance and men are just so good at it.
Let's just look at that step. Here. 2.
My name is Martin Taylor. This is my wife Barbara, my son William, and my daughter Elia. We're circus performers. We own our own circus called Circus Americana. My daughter took Royal Academy of Dance Ballet for years. Liam was also taking ballet, and he wanted to find a dance form that was a little bit more in his style. So we decided on flamenco, and both the kids just absolutely love it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm better.
He likes to believe that.
Good. Okay. Okay.
Flamenco for me is my life's passion.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I remember you as a great dancer, especially being a man in a dance company. You were like the envy of all. You were dancing and you had all this passion. We all watched you artistically, how good you were, and then all of a sudden Perry's done, and now he's a computer genius. So how do we go from now computer, chip, magnet, all this stuff, and then you get back into the artistic side?
Right. What I loved about dance was the feeling and the connection with the music. Right. To me, it wasn't really about performing and competing.
Right.
It was really just that moment where you could just express that drive that you feel from the music, right? So when I stopped dancing, that's what I missed the most. It wasn't so much the dancing that I missed, but that feeling and that emotion that comes from it.
6, 8, 10. And then the fourth one, you go.
I always wanted flamenco. There's just something raw and powerful about flamenco guitar. There's so much power in it. The right hand technique, you have to have, right? You don't use, you have to really drive the note.
You're not just strumming.
Yeah.
You are articulating all 5 fingers.
Yeah, and when in lessons with Ricardo, he goes over that.
Hi, I'm Lauren Staples. I'm 16 years old, and I've been playing flamenco guitar for about 3 years, and I've been dancing for about 1.5 years. My parents took a trip to Spain, and they brought back a CD of classical guitar music, and I thought that was really interesting. So my parents tried to find a teacher for classical guitar, and they couldn't find one. But they found a teacher for flamenco. I'm like, okay, that sounds great. I didn't know the difference back then, and there is a difference. But we just tried it out, and I loved it.
I really don't have desire to perform, or I just do this for me.
Yeah.
I love the feel of it. I love the music and the emotional connection that's there. That's what it's about for me. Even with this nice of a guitar, if it never leaves my home and I should play there, I'm totally happy with that.
Flamenco guitars look a lot like classical guitars, but they're really different in several really important ways. The bridge is very shallow, very short, 1/4 inch. The strings are so close to the top you can't get your little finger under the strings. And that causes the neck angle to be higher. No guitar has a neck parallel to the top. They all angle up a little bit. It gives you a really strong mid-range. And having the action so low, the actions are also made very low, so the strings buzz a little bit. You get a little string buzz out of it. And that changes the tone, it changes the response. They feel very differently. They look a lot like classical guitars, but they respond totally differently. I have 3 guitars, and I've never had more than 3 or 4 at a time, although I've probably had 50 guitars in the 50 years that I've played flamenco. Sell one to buy another. The Santos Hernandez is sort of considered the Rolls-Royce or the Ferrari of, to use the automotive comparison, of flamenco guitars. He died in the 1930s. His guitars are not quite museum pieces, but they're approaching that. People pay $25,000, $30,000 for a Santos these days. I don't have guitars anything like that. I have 3 guitars that are all 3 flamenco guitars, very different from each other. This guitar is a working man's guitar. It was cheap. It's not great wood. It's not highly ornamented. Something a barber or a cab driver would have. Flamenco guitars get a lot of beating. The style is ferocious.
Would you care to please sit on that cajon and play for us?
Oh, let's do it.
You can manage.
So
yes.
I will focus on
That's
your
why we
feet.
get along.
Do I wait for you or do I start?
I start. Again, the guitarist starts with a little falsetto.
Oh, okay.
And then you can jump in at some point. I recommend, since you're a beginner in flamenco, you wait for me and you come in with me.
Okay,
So
let's try it. Of tango, right? Again.
Tangos again.
Tango.
1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ale. 3, 4. Ale.
What's really important to me, this kind of flamenco is not on a stage. It is for everybody in the sense that you don't have to be young and beautiful. You have to really express yourself, whatever age you are, whatever level of expertise you have. This kind of flamenco is for us. And I think it's really important that we all keep it alive. And real flamenco is the family, the friends, the village. That's what's important.
Well, thank you.
That is only on the 12th.
Oh,
Okay.
silly me. That's awesome. All right, thank you so much.